Yo, uh, me. Anyways, so today we're doing the thing, MCC X Block Wars. That's the dealio that we're doing here. We're doing it. I made a new thing. It combines them together. Crazy, I know. Anyways, 10 teams of 5, so it's gonna be 50 people because MCC Block Wars. Combined, Block Wars notably has teams of 5. MCC notably has 10 teams. Combine those two, 10 teams of 5. Wow, crazy. Anyways, this is going to be really weird because here's a Block Wars player, Grimmy, who will be somewhere in this list at some point here. And then we get the next person, Abe, who I think is a bit more of an MCC player, who will not fit with Grimmy perfectly. Also, this challenge will be extremely difficult, because not only do we have the complexity of MCC cohesiveness, but we have the complexity of Block Wars cohesiveness combined, and only 2 extra teams to work with, and we have to fit in 1 extra person per team, based off of either way. Anyways, Slimesicle is gonna be really hard to work with. Extremely limited options there. There's Joe Bart. Of course. No, you can't have a Block Wars related video without Joe Bart, right? You gotta have Joe Bart. Now the question is, based off of connections, right? Joe Bart should be on his own team. But Joe Bart with Charlie Slimesicle would be kind of cool. But I think we're gonna stick to this. Then you have Imakuni VT, who also will not fit on any of these teams. Currently, this is shaping up to be potentially the worst attempt so far, even though we're only 10% of the way through. Where is Imakuni? I can't find them. Here we go. Boom. Callum, CPK, will... The thing with Callum is, in terms of who he actually knows, these teams are not going to really make sense, of course. I think he can fit with either, like, any of these teams in terms of just vibes. I will put Callum probably with... let's see. Either here or here. Imakuni is really difficult to make a team for, I think, because it's mostly Vine Sauce crew. I think this is probably a safe bet, though. Callum CPK will help. Akko should be on his own team, or their own team, sorry. Which, yep. Fit. With Charlie Slimesicle. That's actually one that makes sense. Finally, a combo that adds up. Fit MC with Charlie Slimesicle. Hannah XX Rose will go where? Hannah knows Joe Bart. That's, like, this could work. Hannah does fit a Minecrafter team a bit better. Obviously. Sorry. I think in terms of who Grimmy would be best paired up with, Hannah could overlap. Purpled, right? Could be somebody we could get that would work there. So I'm gonna... Also, Life Stealers would work with Hannah. And there is a very good chance we get some Life Stealers. We could set up for a Lifesteal X Hermitcraft team. Hannah is actually the perfect candidate for that, so we'll do that. Failboat. One person on Reddit is gonna lose their mind over this specific result. I don't know where he fits in, though. Does Failboat anybody on this draft so far? I don't think so. He's kind of a setup for a, like... What's it called? Kind of a, like a Nintendo team. There's Rev. Okay, well, Rev we need for green. Rev should know Imakuni. That's a nice combo. Would be nice if you could pair someone up with that team that knows both Rev and Callum. That would be very nice. Grace. Grace will go with Akko, of course. Where's Grace? Grace is here. That's not Akko. There you go. Velvet can go where? Velvet is pretty versatile, generally speaking, but I don't know if Velvet's particularly fits super well on any of these teams. I don't think Velvet fits poorly on any of them either. Obviously, like, Hannah would work, but we're setting up Hannah for a Lifesteal Hermitcraft team, because the chance we get a Hermit is, like, we have 10 or so Hermits, probably, potentially, maybe even close to, like 10, and there's, like, 250 people on the wheel, roughly, so decent chance, like 1 in 40. No, 1 in 25. What am I talking about? 4% is what I was trying to say. 4% chance, so 1 in 25. Velvet has a lot of different options in terms of team making. I think a separate team is fine. Tina. No, okay. Tina is a peculiar one here because Tina could go here because of like USMP connection type of situation. But then what would a full team look like? I don't know. Tina could go here pretty comfortably. Or Tina could go here or here. I think Abe is not a bad spot to put Tina though. We'll put Tina there. Parker. Now, I did say that I was going to do a Lifesteal Hermit crossover. I do think Parker is probably another very safe person for that. Yeah, I think this makes sense. There's Purpled. Purpled's going to go in red. I think Purpled we can put with Grimmy. That is at least a duo that has played together before, which helps. Mooney will fit. Well, I mean, we kind of have to put Mooney on red as well, I think. Generally speaking, that is the play. I kind of did overlook the amount of VTubers that could potentially be selected here. Where else could Mooney work? I'm just going to placeholder for now. Mooney, in terms of connections, could know small int, so that could work with failabouts, but am I banking on the 1 in 250 chance of getting small int? No. That is literally the only way that I would put them together. Furthermore, I think Mooney just makes more sense to go in red. There is a lot of VTubers that would probably work, make a bit more sense to be with Grimmy, but I think Mooney makes sense. Or am I banking on getting that many VTubers and having another whole separate team? I don't know. Banking on getting Smant is way riskier though, so I think that's probably fine. There, Hannah's duplicate. Who do we get next? Sneeg Snag. I will put Sneeg on yellow. Oh, actually, well, there's Joe Bart. Interesting. So, and Joe, wait, hold on. I had Charlie first, right, on this team. Yeah, this would have been super nice, but unfortunately, I did not predict that to happen. So that'll be probably the best play. Is it safe? Yeah, but whatever, right? It's fine. What else could I even do with Joe Bart? I kind of need Sneeg, probably. Jacksepticeye is crazy pull, but he... Does Jacksepticeye know Sneeg Snag? I don't know if he does. I feel like there's a chance because of Ranboo. I don't know. Highly unlikely. But what else would I do for Jacksepticeye? Does Jack could work here. Jack might know Charlie. This feels like a good spot too. I think that's the best bet. There's a chance maybe Jack knows Failboat, but that seems highly unlikely. So I'm gonna stick with... What do I want to stick with? Because who do I need for Jacksepticeye to work? I need like Sai Kuno. I need like Valkyrie. I need that type of crowd. Like a Pokemon or something, right? Would work. Or whoever... Ethan Nestor. Ethan Nestor would be great for Lime. But if I get Ray would have to go in orange, right? At this situation. I'm gonna bank on that. This feels risky, but I have to. Phase Ray. What do I do with Phase Ray? I have no clue what the hell to do with Phase Ray. Also, an interesting inclusion here because Phase I think is in because of the MCC inclusion, because we had some Rising people in there. Phase might know Callum. Balancing though is questionable, but there is a good amount of my characters we can get, so I'm gonna go for that. Curryway. Okay, well if we're setting up for a like Mario or Nintendo team, Curry has most commonly teamed with that crowd and would work well on a Failbout team. The thing is, what if I get Feinberg? Where would he go right now? Probably yellow? Curry works on yellow. If I get like Tubbo, Curry works super well there, so this could be a nice play. Are there other S tiers that I would want more there? I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna do that. There's Puffy. It was definitely a risk, of course, that I'd take there, right? Puffy goes with Velvet. I think that's pretty safe. There you go. There's Ranboo. That's perfect, actually. Hold on. Okay. Ran goes here. I think Ran... So Ran hasn't played Minecraft in that long of a time, but I think Ran would do a bit better than Joe, probably, still. So that's fair enough. There's Papa Plat. Okay. Well, this is a really peculiar situation, because... Are the German guys in this, or no? No, this is potentially one of the most standout players I could have in terms of randomness. Who would he even know, potentially? He teamed with Fine, he teamed with Emerome, he teamed with D-Tune, he teamed with Pyroscythe. Do I want to set something up for that? I could. I'm not putting him with a fail bout. He would not go on purple. He probably shouldn't go on aqua if we're setting up for potentially getting hermits or other lifesteal members. Cyan, I don't think would work for him. Green, no. Lime is possible. Lime, he probably knows of Jacksepticeye. Lime is possible, I think. That's probably also not underpowered. I think that could be pretty balanced. Yellow's a maybe, orange is a super big maybe as well, and red probably not. So I think because a separate team is too risky. I need a separate team for, like, if I get, like, let's say I get, like, 7 hermits. I guess that could still be worked out, but, like, let's say I get 12 VTubers, which is possible. I need an extra team. So I'm gonna put Papa Plot here. Finishing a team is risky, but, like, what else would I want to finish off that team? I think that's probably fine. That is a sick-ass team, but that is, wow, crazy. Shinri. Okay, so Shinri teamed with Purpled already. Shinri knows Purpled. Where's Shinri? Shinri's here. Shinri probably knows either, I mean, maybe knows of Grimmy or Mooney, because VTubers are relatively well-connected. This could also be room for setting up a new team. But I think this is fine. We do need Purpled to get a different teammate. That is good at Minecraft, probably. Where else could I put Shinri, even? I don't know, Shinri's pretty chill. I think he could go on a lot of different spots. I do want him to be with a VTuber that he knows. And he knows Purpled, which is he's not a VTuber, of course, but this is relatively safe, I think. I think this is probably fine for now. I might regret this. I want hermits for this. Hermits could go here, maybe too. They'd be fine there. But this is so nice for hermits. This would be so hype as well. I think this is fine. Booster. Okay. Now, the thing with Booster is he's obviously very VTuber connected, well connected with VTubers, so this seems like a simple choice. But how many more VTubers am I gonna get? Because I think there's a good chance to get a lot more, so I might want to set up for that. But is there a team I can combine to get VTubers? I don't know. I'm gonna do that. There's Giga. Crazy call. Crazy call from Alex Wolfie Vocal Mail right there. Giga, I think, has to go with boost for here. Giga would have been nice to have on red as well, but this is probably fine. There's Goomy. Goomy should go on orange. Goomy on orange. Cool. Emerome. Teamed with Papa Plat, like mentioned, would have been nice to combine together. Though Emerome could also work nicely on other teams, which would be potentially Cyan, I think could work nicely. Potentially Purple could work alright. Boost for an Emerome also have teamed, so that could be a nice spot. I think this is a good approach, though. Yeah, mice. Okay. Now that is quite peculiar. Yahi has not played very much in terms of Minecraft stuff. Yahi could fit the vibe for yellow. Yahi and Charlie might know each other, actually. Do they? Yahi also does speedrunning. That actually works pretty well. There's Tubbo. Is that, do I commit to yellow team with Tabo? Is that what I want to do? Because that was what I was talking about. Tabo here was gonna be the connecting piece. Okay. I think that could be a team. Yeah, that makes sense. Compared to Lime, is that balanced? Curry beats Sneeg. Toby and Rand could do about the same. Joe is better than Yahi, probably. Fit and Papa Plus probably better than Fit, and then Jack and Charlie are like the same, so that's probably fine. Lythero. He's gonna have to go on green. That actually isn't bad. That somewhat makes sense to an extent. The Lythero on green. It's such an odd team, but I think it would work okay. There's Jess. Jess would be... okay, Jess could go on a couple teams, maybe. I don't think there's a particular team that stands out to work the best. I think purple could work fine. I can't believe like these two are really scary because I'm banking on specific people and I just have not gotten any of them. Jess also could work here, but I'd need an S tier. I'd like need Antfrost or somebody like that. But this one also kind of wants Antfrost. Oh, I'm kind of screwing myself here. That's kind of hard. I think Jess, because Jess works with like Sylvie, Wally, like Lee, of course, would work nicely. That's really hard. I think I'm gonna. Ooh. Jess also knows Hannah, of course. But the thing is, the moment I say, okay, you know what, maybe we're not getting hermits, I'm gonna commit to this, I get a hermit craft member and it might not work anymore. That doesn't necessarily definitively mean it doesn't work anymore. Jess could work with hermits. I think that should be okay. So, yeah, I'll do that. Froggy Lock. Teamed with Booster, I think, so that should be fine. I could be wrong. No, they teamed it together at some point. And Froggy should know Giga. Eret. Put Eret on purple, probably. I don't know how dynamics would work out anymore at this point, but that should be fine. There's Ray. Ray goes on orange. Yep. Ray goes on orange. We need an S tier for orange, like super badly. Toma is a VTuber who... Did Toma team with... No, Toma team with Anthos, not with Booster. Toma is where? Hello? Toma. Toma will have to go here as well. There's Dave. Is Dave the S tier I'm looking for, though? I think Dave works better on, like, purple, maybe. I think that's better to fit on purple. I think a different S tier is maybe what I need for orange. Like a Pete, Ant, even 5-up would be like, you know, even though he's not, like, officially S tier or whatever, would be nice. BTMC. Right. The balancing is poor. BTMC also on purple, probably. Just close that team off, maybe. I don't know. We're struggling here. BTMC on Cyan is probably not what I'm looking for. Would be fine. I think vibe-wise would be fun. BTMC on Aqua would be too strong, probably, but it would fit because BTMC should know Hannah and teamed with Jess already. Failboat is going to be a really difficult one to work with here. We'll stick to probably that. I mean, this... Do I just... do I want to commit to filling out more teams, or do I want to just commit to this? Because I need something. This is not a combo that makes sense. I'll say that right now. This combo does not make sense. But I need something. So, I'm sticking to that. Capitan Gato is not what I was looking for. He's gonna have to go on, like, Aqua. He has to go on, like, Aqua. But that's still risky, but I have to do that. Toast. Oh, God. Like, do I want to make it balanced or do I want to make it fun? What is more important? Because that makes more sense, but where else would I even put Toast? There is no place for him to go that makes sense. He has to be here, and Toast probably is, what, there? Balancing wise, we just have a weak team, but this would be a fun one, but it's weak, but whatever. Carl Jacobs. Okay. Well, Carl knows purpled. I don't think he would want team there. I don't think that would be the team for him. What else could I do with Carl? There's like just so little. This wouldn't really work either. Yeah, that's just that. CJ. I mean, I finally got what I was asking for. It's a little late. It's just a little tiny bit late. Connor eats bits. Connor eats bits. Connor eats bits. Has to go here probably. Does it make sense? No. But like, what else? That. He knows Hannah. He might know Jess. This doesn't really make sense. That doesn't make sense. This would be like fine. This is probably okay. We'll run with that. Swiffies. Okay. No, Swift is actually kind of nice to have, I think. He works decently well on different spots. He's cool with teaming with new people. Him and Booster know each other. Balancing is completely screwed, but this is probably fine. Curry's a duplicate. CJ's a duplicate. Parker's a duplicate. Preston plays. God. Preston might know Failboat. Preston probably knows Puffy. Preston, in terms of vibes, works probably best on Cyan. I'm gonna have to put Preston here, I think. Preston, skill-wise, is probably there or there. It's good enough. Flip goes on Cyan. Does it really make sense? No, but that's the best we can do. So that's what we go for. Plushie, we'll have to go on blue. Steve Suptic, probably on Cyan. And what does the last spin result in? Barky, who actually works alright on blue, to an extent. So, we end off on a not so horrible note, but wow. Wow, what a run. Wow, what a run. This is a mess. This is an absolute mess. Wow. Just wow. It's impressive. It is just impressive how much a randomizer can do. You get some insane teams like Lime. This Lime team is genuinely incredible. You get some cohesive teams like Orange, which is weak. But wow, does it work? Yeah. You even get teams like Yellow. Yellow looks really cool. This would be a banger POV. It would be sick. And then you have other teams that just are like, oh, it's so close. The red team really just needed like a decent second frag, and we got Carl, who does work with purple, but he doesn't know the rest. Then you have green, which is fine. It's just very much like a stretch in terms of how things work. You have Callum and FaZe, who might be familiar, who are generally more open to teaming with people they don't know, and then Rev, Lythero, and Imakuni does somewhat piece together well. So this is like fine. This is a random mess. Akko, Grace, good combo. Emerome works fine. Steve, vibe-wise would be fine. Flip, whole different universe, just entering the team here. Aqua, I set up for a certain type of team and I got none of it. I got 2 lifesteal members in the entire draft and 0 hermits. I'm shocked that I got no hermits. Genuinely surprised there was no Hermitcraft members. I do think that this Aqua team ended up being quite interesting. It's not horrible. It would be very experimental, but wow. This blue team literally was just Failboat for most of the video, and then at the end we got people that somewhat maybe would make sense. I think had we had like Fur or Smant or someone like that instead of BTMC, this would have made a bit more sense. Plushy, I don't know how he approaches events, but CJ, Failboat, and Parky like could work. CJ is the connecting piece in that equation. Purple team feels very much like a leftover MCC team. This probably works okay to an extent, but you could tell very much like these people are very versatile, but none of the teams screamed like this team needs these people, and that's why it ended up being the way it is. And then this pink team, I just had an abundance of VTubers at the end. Booster made sense, and then Swiffy's pieces in quite nicely at the end. That's the MCC X Blockers randomizer wheel. If you want access to this, go to... I highly recommend, if you want to do this actively, the account I have here, this is my account for Tier Maker. It's on here. If you go to this, in the description, there is a link you can copy paste, which is the exact thing that I was using. So the link to the wheel is in the tier list itself. Remind yourself of that. Feel free to pin on, make a tab, save a tab for this randomizer or just my tier maker in general. I do a lot of things here for different videos, etc. Even for MCC, for example, right? There's MCC tier list that has all the people that played MCC Season 4 or made sense to be in consideration for MCC Season 4, and you have other ones as well. So yeah, anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all later. Goodbye.